Chosen one. Your presence here is not accidental. Heaven arranged this moment as a sacred appointment, long before you ever reached it. The reason your spirit was drawn toward these words is because prophecy has recognized the vessel prepared to carry it. You are standing before the entrance of something holy, a supernatural transition powerful enough to redirect the course of your life. The seventh seal is beginning to unfold, uncovering what remained hidden for a season, your inheritance, your spiritual authority, and the divine transfer prepared for your assignment. Anointed one. This is more than coincidence. It is confirmation. Every postponement, every season when resources seemed scarce, every prayer spoken quietly in the darkness has been guiding you toward this moment of revelation. Heaven is declaring, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 43:19. What was sealed is beginning to open, and what once seemed beyond your reach is now being released toward you. Chosen one. Prepare your heart, because what is entering your life will carry more than provision. It will carry purpose. This is your appointed hour to stand. Awaken, and receive the evidence that what was spoken has been leading toward you all along. Remain attentive. Heaven is communicating Vorley. Chosen one. There is a reason something within you brought you here. This is not another meaningless moment or an ordinary scroll through YouTube. It is divine orchestration. Heaven positioned you at this precise point because the seventh seal is opening, and your destiny is connected to what it reveals. You are being called into a greater dimension of purpose, a new season where spiritual authority and material provision begin moving together. What is happening around you may appear confusing, but it is not destruction. It is divine construction. God is repositioning your steps in preparation for a supernatural unveiling. And perhaps you have already sensed the signs, a quiet stirring within your chest, a holy restlessness moving through your soul. The things that once satisfied you no longer hold the same power. Even people who once seemed to understand you may no longer be able to meet you at the level where God is taking you. That's not rejection. Chosen one. That's redirection. The heavens have shifted your frequency. You are outgrowing environments that cannot hold the weight of your next assignment. And this shaking, this breaking, this unsettling feeling, it's heaven preparing the ground beneath your feet for divine expansion. I've seen this pattern before. The moment before the miracle always feels like misalignment. Years ago, I remember losing everything I thought defined me: status, friends, security. But what I didn't know was that I wasn't being buried. I was being planted. That season became the soil where my purpose began to sprout. What felt like loss was actually the setup for the greatest transfer of my life. And now, chosen one, that same transfer is circling your name. The seventh seal isn't just an ancient prophecy, it's a divine activation. It's heaven's way of saying enough delay. It's a command to time itself. Release the blessings that have been held back. You've passed the tests, endured the silence, and remained faithful when everything in you wanted to quit. That is why your name has been called for release. The same doors that once refused to open are now under divine order to yield. Right now, something in the unseen realm is shifting on your behalf. I don't say that lightly. The air around you has changed. The timing has changed. God is transferring resources, influence, and ideas into the hands of those who carry his heart, and that includes you. The seventh seal symbolizes divine completion. It means the cycle of delay has ended and the cycle of manifestation has begun. You're stepping into a dimension where your obedience becomes your currency. Your faith becomes your passport. Every prayer you thought went unheard is returning as evidence. You'll begin to see people remembering your name. Opportunities are lining out of nowhere. And favor. That doesn't make sense. It's not coincidence. It's covenant. The seal is open and heaven's economy has taken notice of your faith. Anointed one. The very situations that once drained you will soon serve you. The rejection, the waiting, the misunderstanding, they've refined your discernment. The wilderness was your training ground. You didn't just survive, you were shaped. And now the oil that was crushed out of your seasons of pain will fund your seasons of purpose. Heaven is saying, I'm trusting you with overflow because you've proven you won't waste it. Chosen one. Don't mistake the weight you feel for warfare. It's not an attack. It's an announcement. Heaven is crowning you in real time. You're not being overwhelmed. You're being ordained. Every pressure point is producing power. Every tear is watering a seed. Every delay was divine timing stretching itself to make room for what you're about to carry. So if life feels heavier, it's because your destiny has gained mass. You are walking into rooms your name was once unqualified for. You are becoming the evidence of what faith under fire produces. The seventh seal is not about fear. It's about fulfillment. The prophecy is unfolding through you. Stay close now. Chosen one. Because in the next moments, I'm going to reveal exactly what heaven meant when it said, the seventh seal prophecy is about you. Chosen one. The seventh seal is not just opening in the heavens, it's opening inside you. It is the unveiling of your true identity. The moment when what God hid for your protection is now being revealed for your promotion. For years, you felt unseen, misunderstood, or even forgotten, but this hiddenness was never neglect. It was divine incubation. Heaven was shaping your strength in silence so that when the seal broke, you would be ready to carry what's about to be released. Anointed one. You've been prepared for a supernatural unveiling. What once looked like stagnation was actually sacred stillness. God has been positioning you behind the scenes, allowing your roots to grow deep before your influence could rise high. And now the breaking of the seventh seal marks the moment of divine exposure, where your private faith becomes public fruit. The world is about to see what heaven has been working on. I know what it's like to live in that tension, when your spirit feels full, but your life feels empty. There were days I asked God, why hide me when I'm ready to help? But I learned that waiting is not punishment. It's preparation. The longer the wait, the greater the weight of glory. When my own seal broke, everything changed at once. Finance, friendships, focus. It felt like the air itself was charged with divine momentum. That same current chosen one is now moving in your direction. The seventh seal is the gateway between delay and divine acceleration. Once it opens, what took years begins to happen in days. The dreams that seemed distant suddenly align. People you thought forgot, you start reaching out. Favor begins finding you without you chasing it. This is what it means to be part of heaven's wealth transfer. Not just money, but influence, access, wisdom, and peace. You are being trusted with heavenly resources to rebuild what was broken. Chosen one. Hear this. The same power that opened the tomb of Christ now opens the vault of heaven over you. This isn't about luck. It's about lineage. You are part of a royal bloodline, a spiritual inheritance that cannot be revoked. The seventh seal is God's signature confirming that your lineage is legitimate. The delays you endured were verification, the tests you passed were authentication, and now heaven stamps you with approval. You will notice the signs of this shift, divine coincidences that aren't coincidences at all. The number 7 showing up in your path, conversations that feel like confirmations, people drawn to your presence but unable to explain why. These are signals that the veil is lifting and that your name has been whispered in heavenly places. Anointed One, your discernment is sharpening. What once confused, you will now make sense. You'll look back and realize every rejection redirected you to this very revelation. Every closed door was an angelic route. Every detour carried hidden treasure. And now that the seventh seal is open, those treasures will surface. Chosen One. The shaking you felt lately is proof of movement in the unseen. Don't let fear interpret what faith is supposed to translate. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. The pressure you feel is birth pain, not breaking pain. Something sacred is emerging through you. Something heaven has waited ages to reveal. This is your awakening. The seventh seal is not a story from Scripture. It is a living prophecy unfolding through your obedience. You are the fulfillment of what generations prayed for. A vessel of divine wisdom, provision, and restoration. The seal has opened, and now your assignment begins. Chosen One. The seventh seal is more than revelation. It is release. The heavens are no longer silent. What was once sealed is now being transferred into the hands of those who have endured with faith. You are one of them. You were tested in silence, refined in obscurity, and now heaven calls your name aloud. This is the moment of divine redistribution where favor, wealth, and wisdom are transferred to the faithful Anointed One. Understand this. The seventh seal doesn't just bring money. It brings mandate. Heaven isn't just blessing you. Heaven is trusting you. Every door that opens, every opportunity that appears carries divine purpose. You've been chosen not to hoard, but to channel. When God pours out abundance, it's because He knows you'll use it to heal, build, and restore. I've walked through this shift myself years ago. Everything I relied on fell apart. Plans, people, stability. But that collapse became my classroom. I learned that when heaven funds your mission, you don't have to force anything. The same doors that closed began to swing open. What I once chased began to chase me. And now that same grace is finding you. Chosen One, the Spirit of God says, I have seen your faithfulness in lack. Now watch what I do in your increase. The seventh seal marks divine completion, the end of delay, the start of acceleration. Expect movement, phone calls that shift your path, opportunities that locate you without effort, provision that flows without pressure. It's not coincidence, it's covenant. But hear this carefully. The seal not only releases blessing, it reveals character. You've been tested with little to prove you could be trusted with more. You gave when you had barely enough. You stayed kind when bitterness tried to take root. You forgave instead of fighting back. That's why heaven has chosen you for stewardship. As this transfer unfolds, you'll feel it in your atmosphere. The heaviness will lift. Divine order will replace chaos. Finances will align with purpose. Peace will replace fear. You'll realize the wait was not a delay, but a design, preparation for the weight of glory. The seventh seal also brings restoration. Everything that was stolen, forgotten, or lost is returning, but refined, multiplied, and perfectly timed. You will find yourself walking into rooms that were once locked, standing before people who were once unreachable. It will happen so smoothly that you'll know it's divine, not human. Anointed One, your next chapter will not demand striving. It will require surrender. You won't need to chase. What's yours will find you. The seventh seal creates flow, not struggle. You are stepping into supernatural ease, guided by divine precision. Chosen One, you've carried enough pain to qualify for power. You've waited long enough. Heaven has kept record, and now release has come. The transfer has begun. The same God who hid you is now revealing you. The vault of heaven is open, and your name is written on what's being released. Chosen One, the seventh seal has not opened for your comfort. It has opened for your calling. Heaven did not bring you this far to keep you safe. Heaven brought you here to make you seen. This is the season where everything hidden begins to rise. You are stepping into the light, not for applause, but for assignment. Anointed One, the world has been waiting for your sound. Your life carries a frequency that awakens what is asleep in others. The pain you overcame, the silence you survived. Those experiences have become spiritual authority. You don't just speak from theory. You speak from testimony. That's why heaven is releasing influence into your hands. When you open your mouth, chains will break. When you move, atmosphere shifts. This is not arrogance. It's alignment. I've seen what happens when destiny calls. It rarely comes when you feel ready. The first time God pushed me forward, I wanted to run back to hiding. But I realized obedience opens what fear cannot. The moment I stepped forward, favor followed. Doors that were once bolted became magnetic. That same anointing is resting on you now. The seal is open, and heaven is inviting you to rise without hesitation. Chosen One, the next phase of your journey will demand courage, not the absence of fear, but faith that moves despite it. You've already proven your endurance. Now heaven is testing your expression. Can you carry glory publicly with the same grace you carried pain privately? Can you lead with love in a world addicted to noise? You can, because you were built for this. The seventh seal is heaven's decree of readiness. You are being elevated. But this elevation is sacred. It's not about being above others. It's about being available to serve. The oil on your life was never meant to be stored. It was meant to be poured. You are the answer to someone's prayer, the confirmation to someone's doubt, the living proof that God still fulfills promises. Anointed One, prepare your heart for divine acceleration. In the coming days, things will happen suddenly. Ideas will flow easily. Doors will open naturally. And your spirit will recognize that it's not random. It's reward. But as you ascend, remain rooted. Remember who sustained you in silence. Stay humble. Stay teachable. Stay aligned. The enemy cannot touch a spirit anchored in gratitude. And if fear whispers, remind yourself, you are sealed, not shaken. The seventh seal doesn't just release power, it protects it. You are covered. You are equipped. You are appointed for this exact moment in history. Chosen One, rise with reverence. The same spirit that resurrected Jesus from the grave now moves through you. The prophecy is alive in your veins. What once was sealed away from you is now flowing through you. The light that heaven placed in your soul is about to illuminate nations. This is your commissioning moment. You are no longer waiting for purpose. Purpose is waiting for your yes. The seal is open. The call is clear. And heaven is watching. Chosen one. As the seventh seal opens, you will begin to notice the atmosphere around you shifting. What once resisted you will start to recognize you. Doors that remained closed for years will suddenly respond to your name. This is not luck. It's law. Heaven's law of alignment is at work. You have stepped into divine timing, and time itself is now serving your destiny. Anointed one. Pay attention to the signs. They will come subtly yet undeniably. Numbers repeating 777. Moments that feel like déjà vu. Conversations that carry confirmation. These are not coincidences. They are codes from the divine signaling that the spiritual and the physical are merging. Heaven is translating unseen movement into visible manifestation. When the seventh seal opens over your life, acceleration follows. Things begin to move fast. Sometimes so fast it feels uncomfortable. Don't panic. This is divine motion, not chaos. You are being carried by momentum you didn't create. The blessings you once begged for are now chasing you down. The right people are appearing at the right time. The right ideas are finding their investors. The right prayers are meeting their answers. I've lived this shift before. There was a day I woke up with nothing to show for years of faithfulness. Within 1 month, every promise I had written in my journal began to unfold, not through striving, but through surrender. When heaven opens a seal, it doesn't need permission from the world. It simply performs, and now. Chosen one. Heaven is performing on your behalf. You'll feel the pressure ease. The spiritual warfare that once surrounded you will begin to quiet, not because it disappeared, but because your authority increased. The same battles that used to drain you will now bow to you. The energy around your life will become clearer, lighter, holier. Peace will enter where confusion used to live. The world around you won't make sense because it's not supposed to. This is supernatural order unfolding in real time. Anointed one. Your discernment will grow sharper. You'll begin to see through false opportunities and sense divine ones without effort. Heaven is rewiring your intuition. Every experience you endured was training your spirit to recognize truth at first sight. This is why your past pain was necessary. It became your filter. Now, as abundance flows, you'll know exactly what to touch and what to walk away from. Chosen one. Be mindful of your words in this season. What you speak will start to manifest faster. When the seal opens, your tongue becomes a tool of creation. Speak life, not lack. Speak healing, not fear. Your declarations are drafting heaven's architecture for your future. Angels are listening, waiting for the signal of your faith. You'll notice it. The stillness after the storm. The light that feels different. The peace that doesn't make sense. That's how you know the seventh seal has fully opened within you. You have moved beyond the season of constant striving and entered a place of divine flow. Beyond simply wishing and into receiving. Chosen one. Prophecy now has visible evidence, and that evidence is your life. You are becoming a living manifestation of what was spoken. The seal has been opened, and heaven is beginning to fulfill its word through you. Chosen one. The seventh seal is greater than an awakening within one person. It carries a much wider movement. When heaven releases revelation, its impact does not remain contained within a single life. It spreads outward, touching communities, systems, generations, and nations. The transformation taking place inside you is connected to something larger unfolding across the earth. You are participating in a divine restoration, helping bring heavenly order into places where disorder once ruled. Anointed one. This is the moment when the light carried by the chosen begins to challenge the darkness operating in the world. You were not born simply to survive this generation or hide from what is happening around you. You were created to influence it. Your life itself is prophecy, unfolding a reminder that God still sends answers into the earth through ordinary human vessels, carrying extraordinary assignments. When the seal opened, it awakened those called to help build what comes next. And you are among them. Old structures are beginning to shake. Systems built upon greed, fear, manipulation, and control are losing their grip. You can already see signs of instability around you, institutions being questioned, structures failing, and forms of power that once seemed untouchable beginning to weaken. But chosen one, do not allow fear to take root. You are not being left among the ruins. You are being positioned at the foundation of renewal. Heaven intends to rebuild through willing vessels like you. Every gift you steward, every truth you speak, and every act of obedience becomes another piece of this sacred architecture. I have seen this rebuilding process in my own journey. There was a season when nearly everything around me seemed to collapse. Work became uncertain. Friendships changed. Even my faith felt shaken. Yet inside that emptiness, clarity began to emerge. I discovered that God does not permit things to fall away without preparing something more aligned in their place. Every loss became part of a new design. Every ending became material for a stronger foundation. And now, that same pattern is beginning to reveal itself in your life. What felt like breaking was never meant to erase you. It was excavation. Heaven was removing what was false, unstable, and counterfeit, so that what is genuine, lasting, and divinely appointed could finally rise. Chosen one. The new world will not be built by the loud, but by the light-bearers, those who carry wisdom instead of pride, compassion instead of ego. That's you. You are the quiet revolution. Heaven is leading. One heart, one act, one revelation at a time. You are restoring what money cannot buy and power cannot counterfeit: truth, unity, and peace. Anointed one. The seventh seal is heaven's decree that the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord. Everything that once opposed divine order must now yield to it. That's why things feel unfamiliar. The spiritual climate is changing. What once worked for others may no longer work for you, because you are not of the old world. You are carrying a new frequency, heaven's frequency. You'll begin to notice this shift in everyday moments. The conversations that once drained you no longer hold your interest. The environments that once felt comfortable will feel too small. Even your thoughts are changing. This is evidence of the transformation within you. The seal has changed your spiritual DNA. You are thinking like a builder, seeing like a prophet, and moving like one who carries divine authority. Chosen one. Your influence is not accidental. Where you walk, light will gather. Where you speak, peace will settle. Where you sow, Life will multiply. You are heaven's answer to earth's ache. The seventh seal has rewritten your assignment. You are not just being blessed. You are becoming a blessing. This is the rebuilding of the world, and it begins with you, chosen one. The seventh seal has marked the beginning of your appointed hour. This is the divine moment when everything written about you in heaven begins to manifest on earth. You are no longer preparing. You are walking in prophecy. The waiting season has expired. The time for wondering has turned into the time for witnessing. What you once prayed for in tears is now standing before you in truth. Anointed one, this moment carries weight. Heaven has synchronized your steps with divine timing. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was a doorway. The time that you thought was wasted was actually the clock of destiny counting down to now. You've entered what Scripture calls the fullness of time. When all things align for God's purpose to unfold perfectly, you may sense it already. The quickening in your spirit, the heightened awareness, the sudden peace that doesn't make sense. That's confirmation. The seventh seal is heaven's announcement that divine timing has arrived. Nothing and no one can cancel what has been appointed for you. I remember a season when I was desperate for breakthrough. I tried to make things happen on my own, forcing outcomes that weren't ready. But when I finally let go and trusted God's timing, everything unfolded effortlessly. Emails came. Opportunities arrived. Doors that had stayed shut for years opened overnight. That's when I understood obedience creates acceleration. The moment I aligned, heaven responded instantly. And now, chosen one, heaven is responding to you. This appointed hour is sacred because it carries not only manifestation, but multiplication. What once required all your strength will now flow with ease. You'll notice divine synchronicities. The right people showing up. The right words confirming what your spirit already knows. Even your mistakes will start working for your favor. Heaven is redeeming the time. Anointed one, God is bringing closure to old chapters so that new ones can open. You may feel an urge to disconnect from certain people or habits. Follow that leading. It's not rejection. It's repositioning. When the seventh seal opens, heaven reorders your surroundings to match your next level. Don't resist it. Every removal is a release. Every ending is an entrance. Chosen one. The Spirit says, this is your hour of evidence. You won't have to convince anyone that you are chosen. The fruit will speak for itself. The same people who doubted you will have to witness your elevation, not for revenge, but for revelation. They will see what favor looks like when it rests on an obedient soul. You've been faithful in the furnace, consistent in the silence, and steadfast in the storm. Now the reward is unfolding. Heaven is aligning contracts, ideas, and opportunities that were waiting for your readiness. The seventh seal doesn't just signify a moment, it signifies movement. The kingdom is advancing through you. Anointed one. Stentel, the appointed hour is not coming. It's here. The gates of manifestation are open, and heaven's decree is clear. No more delay. Walk in it. Speak in it. Live in it. Everything you've been praying for has just stepped into your timeline. Chosen one, you have reached the moment that the seventh seal was always pointing to the fulfillment. Heaven's word over your life is no longer a promise waiting in the clouds. It is now unfolding in your hands. This is not a prediction. This is performance. Everything that once existed only in vision is now materializing in reality. You have crossed from prophecy to proof. Anointed One, the air around you has shifted. You can feel it. A deep calm, a quiet knowing that your waiting was worth it. What used to feel impossible now feels inevitable. That's because heaven has finalized what hell tried to delay. The warfare has ended, the verdict has been sealed, and the outcome is in your favor. You are standing in answered prayer. I remember the first time I truly recognized divine fulfillment. It didn't come with trumpets or applause. It came with peace. I didn't need to strive anymore because what I prayed for was already flowing. The lesson was simple. When heaven fulfills a promise, it feels like rest, not rush. Chosen One. That's where you are now. The resting place of manifestation. The seventh seal represents this exact shift from warfare to wonder, from striving to stillness, from hoping to holding. You have entered the season where the promises of God no longer feel distant. They are near. You will see tangible evidence, dreams aligning, resources appearing, ideas bearing fruit. You'll realize that the prophecy wasn't just about an event, it was about evolution. Heaven didn't just send a blessing, it built a new you, Anointed One. The new you walks with authority that doesn't need explanation. You carry peace that silences opposition. You move differently now, not out of fear, but out of faith. The seventh seal has rewritten your reality. What once drained you will now serve you. What once broke you will now build you. The enemies that once taunted you will now watch you rise, not for vengeance but for vindication. Heaven's way of proving that obedience always wins. Chosen One. This fulfillment carries responsibility. You are no longer a receiver only. You are now a releaser. What flows to you must flow through you. The blessings, the wisdom, the wealth, the peace. They are meant to overflow into others. You've become the living bridge between heaven and earth, between prophecy and performance, Anointed One. As you walk in this divine fulfillment, remember humility. Every miracle that manifests is not a medal. It's a mission. Every answered prayer is an assignment. You have been elevated not to boast, but to build, to stand as proof that God still honors the faithful, still raises the humble, and still fulfills His word in ways no man can manufacture. Chosen One. Raise your head. The seventh seal has finished what it was sent to accomplish. Heaven stands open above you. The earth is beginning to answer, and your life itself is becoming the testimony. Step forward with courage into what has been fulfilled, knowing that what heaven has initiated cannot be undone. This prophecy was never only about reaching an ending, it was always about who you were becoming. Chosen One. This is your appointed era. The seal has been opened. The story is still unfolding. And heaven's word is now finding expression through your life. Chosen One. The seventh seal has been released, and heaven has confirmed the shift. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the sacred intersection where preparation finally meets fulfillment. Everything that seemed postponed was being held for this precise hour. The veil has been removed, and the supernatural transfer is already moving. Anointed One. You are not simply entering a season of blessing. Blessing is beginning to take residence within your life. The same divine power that spoke creation into existence is now ordering your steps, aligning circumstances, connecting destinies, and bringing every promise into position. What you thought was permanently lost is returning, transformed. What remained withheld is now being released. You are walking beneath an open heaven. Chosen one, stay faithful. Protect your peace. Guard the light within you. And remain rooted in gratitude. The favor moving toward you will not require striving or manipulation. It requires alignment and flow. You have entered a divine rhythm now. Guided by hands you cannot see but that already know the road ahead. Heaven is declaring, you have crossed over, you are prepared. Allow these words to settle deeply into your spirit tonight. The season of constant striving is ending. The season of receiving has begun. The seventh seal has opened the doorway into your next chapter. And soon the evidence will become impossible to ignore. If this message has awakened something inside you, share it. Comment your sacred number. 777 og 333. And declare, I receive the seal. Chosen one. This is my confirmation. The prophecy was never centered on endless waiting. It was always about transformation. Walk in what you have become. Rise in it. Live from it.